Hey, it's Tim Miller from the Bulwark. Yesterday, I got in a little debate with Tomi Lahren, and we argued about immigration, policing, why Donald Trump is such a whiner. We talked about the campus protesters, and well, it was a vigorous exchange of ideas. Pretty sure I got the best of it. Thought y'all would enjoy it, so watch some of the top moments here.
Listen, there were some technical issues. Elon Musk says that this wasn't because of, their infrastructure. More so it was some kind of a cyber threat or a cyber attack, which they can't do anything about.
I'm sure.
Oh, you don't think that that's possible given?
I'm sure. Oh, yeah. All the rest of Twitter worked except for the space. I'm sure it was a cyber attack. It was the same screw up that happened with Ron DeSantis. Maybe he just shouldn't have fired all his engineers. Maybe it was as simple as that. But, who cares? I don't know. I mean, the substance of it wasn't that much better either. It's like, great. 1 billion people, listened to Donald Trump talk about how he thought Kamala looked hot on the cover of Time. I don't think that that's like really a winning message. And, I think that just speaks to kind of his obsession right now. He's a man that's down there. He's aggrieved. He's jealous of all the attention she's getting. He's lashing out at her looks, saying he doesn't know what race she is, attacking her, saying she's not really black or she tried to turn black. I just don't think this appeals to anybody except like a small group of, MAGA weirdos who really kind of are obsessed with this infighting culture war nonsense. What's his healthcare plan? Is he planning on cutting spending or increasing spending like he did last time? Is he going to increase the debt or cut the debt? Like, does he have a climate plan? Does he not have a climate plan? You really think all of Donald Trump's positions?
Well, listen, first of all, he wants to get rid of an electric vehicle mandate, so he's got that policy position that's out there. He does believe in mass deportation, whether you like it or not. He's put it out there. What his foreign policy...
I don't really get that as a conservative thing. I do kind of wonder why you're so excited about that. I mean, to me, a small government conservative is like really wants a bunch of jackbooted thugs, like pulling people over based on the color of their skin and demanding papers and kicking them out of the country. Like, that's what we're going to do. We're going to deport millions of people. That's conservative, small government conservative.
I'm going to tell you, Tim, what's going on here. So first of all, illegal immigration is not a race. It's an activity. So I don't care what your race is. I don't care if you're blonde with green eyes like I am. If you're in the country illegally, you probably need to get the hell out.
Yeah, I'm sure. Just when they do the ads about illegal immigration, you always see people blonde with green eyes on the TV.
They can only show
who they're going to deport. Donald's really planning on deporting people to Switzerland, Tommy. You're right. That's definitely
Well, they're not coming here from there. I mean, you can only deport the people that are here. But listen, to be fair, they're coming from all over the world. I mean, all the countries of the world are represented, and languages we've never even heard before are coming across our southern border. But I want to talk about the mass deportation thing, and I don't want to spend a ton of time on it because I have a lot of questions for you. But I will say this. For me, it's really simple math. You have 10 million plus illegals that have come in the last 3.5 years. So what do? You take the 10 million plus that have come in the last 3.5 years and you send them right back because they shouldn't have been here. And then now they got to go. And so that's what you're going to do.
That's definitely going to be a small government conservative. Nobody's rights are going to be infringed upon in that effort. They're definitely not going to sweep up anybody that wasn't supposed to be deported.
You're an illegal immigrant. You don't have a right to be in this country.
Okay, great.
So
that's really great. In this case, her and the White House worked with conservative Oklahoma Senator James Lankford on an immigration bill that was going to include cracking down on the border, trying to streamline the asylum system. So I think that she's come to the middle on this issue. I think she's come to the middle on a lot of issues. I think that she made a mistake running to the left in the primary in 2020, and you guys are going to try to hit her on that. But I think the reality is, if you listen to her rhetoric and her policies now and a lot of those issues,
but she's not giving us policies now. I would be okay with it, and I'll be honest. I want to be a fair person.
She had the bill with James Lankford.
Yeah, but that's not her bill.
She's advertising on that bill.
She can't just say, I wanted the bipartisan border bill. She can't just say that's my position, because listen, she needs to articulate why she's changed her mind from the opinions that she had in 2019 and 2020, Medicare for all, because she needs to articulate it. If she's not going to put out an updated version.
Tommy, she's the vice president. She said she'd work with James Lankford, who's a Republican conservative senator, on a bipartisan immigration bill. They already did it. It would have been passed if Donald Trump didn't scuttle it. So what more details do you want? It's right there. You can go Google it. Go look at the Senate bill. You can see all the provisions. You might not like all of it, but it's a pretty conservative immigration reform bill. She said she's on board with it. She's running ads right now promoting her position on that bipartisan bill.
In George Floyd riots. She said people have every right to be out there. Don't expect it to stop. They shouldn't let up. She talked about reimagining policing, reimagining what ICE looks like. I mean, to say that she's anti-police, I'm not going off of that because I pulled it out of a coconut tree. I'm pulling it out of her own clips of her own voice saying it out loud proudly. So if she's changed her position and now she's suddenly pro-police, and she doesn't think policing needs to be reimagined, and she doesn't want to abolish ICE, then don't you think she needs to articulate that to us?
Yeah, and I think she is. I mean, I think that you're just trying to find things to be unhappy about because you've got to defend your man after, he instigated a riot at the Capitol and tried to overturn the election. You got to find things to attack the other person on.
Talk about living in the past, my friend.
She was a district attorney. She's pro-police. What's over?
Well, January 6th is long
it's
gone.
not really over because he's still lying about the 2020 election. He's still advancing the lie that led to the attack on the Capitol. So it's not over. Police there. You want to be like, oh, Kamala's anti-police. Really? Donald Trump instigated a riot at the Capitol where 100+ police were injured. He won't apologize for it. He's happy about it. He wants to pardon and get out of prison the people that attacked the cops at the Capitol. That guy's not pro-police, and he was asked about this recently in an interview, and he went back down. He said the thing that really upset him was the lefty protesters that injured that painted the marble at the Capitol. And as a builder, he's really upset about the marble. He's not upset about the cop that lost his eye. Donald Trump hasn't called him. He hasn't called Brian Sicknick's family. Like, give me a break.
Well,
I don't like this whole Kamala's anti-police. Donald Trump is anti-police.
Brian Sicknick did not die because of January 6th. So
really? Oh, it's just a coincidence? So just a quinky dink that there was a riot at the Capitol and one of the officers there died?
Yeah, because he suffered a medical emergency, I believe a stroke, after that event.
No. So you think the stroke would have happened if he was just sitting there minding his own business, doing
people
general
have
work
strokes
of the
all
day?
the time. People have strokes all the time.
All right, Tom.
But
yeah, you're really pro-police. I love how you're showing your pro-police cards by diminishing
there are a few people on planet Earth that are as pro-police as I am. And if you want to look at the record, I was very vocal on January 6th. And every day since January 6th, I have condemned it loudly. Go check out my Instagram.
You're for the person that wants to pardon all the people that committed
Donald Trump doesn't want to pardon the people that took part in anything violent. The people that were simply at the Capitol.
Has he said that?
The
Can you show me that? I would love.
He has.
I would love to apologize and be wrong. Please show me where Donald Trump said he's not planning on pardoning the people that were violent and attacking police.
He's clarified. He's clarified that the people that were just at the Capitol that day, that didn't do anything, should not be thrown in the gulag. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess if we're not mystified by it, then we have to go back to Medicare for all and abolish ICE. And
she's offering you want her to be the things that you like the least.
No, that's just what she
and that's fine. It's okay. You have a right to try to do that. Just like the Democrats are going to talk about how J.D. Vance thought that Donald Trump was Hitler and a traitor and a douche and a bad Christian and all the other things that he said about Donald Trump. So that's fine. You can talk about that. But on all these issues on healthcare, they've talked about how they're trying to lower prescription drug costs. They've said that they're not planning on going back to Medicare for all. That's what
that was just in 2019. So
what's Donald Trump's healthcare plan? I mean, this is just silly that you're like, oh, we don't know what Kamala's healthcare plan is. What's Donald Trump's? He was president for 4 years. He promised a new Obamacare repeal and replace plan every week for 4 years.
Well, we need to get repeal and replace. I mean, listen.
Oh, really? We're still doing that?
No, we still do need to do that. But
okay, Tommy.
I'm glad that you find that funny.
Tell Mike Johnson about that. It's nice to hear. At least you have offered a.
Hey, listen. Tim Walz, do you think that the whole stolen valor thing is going to be a problem?
As somebody who did not serve, I feel like very unsuited to criticizing him. I also am not. I don't like it when the progressives are out there and like J.D. Vance was just a public affairs guy. He didn't really serve. I don't like judging people that served. I respect it. I had Adam Kinzinger on the pod last week, who was also a National Guardsman, who was very defensive of Walz, who said, Walz, you can retire after 20 years. He did 24 years. So he did more than what was called for. He was there for 4 years after 9/11. So I kind of defer to Adam's judgment on this.
Yeah, Adam. I mean, Adam is He's one disgruntled fella. I will say that.
So? I don't know. He seems pretty happy whenever he's on my podcast.
Well, yeah,
he seems pretty joyous.
Him and Liz Cheney, they are disgruntled. But listen, that's fine. I'm not here to debate the merits of Kinzinger and Cheney. I know that it's so funny to me because the Democrat,
they sleep really good at night, Tommy. I don't know. I think that there's a lot of people that know that they have to defend a bad guy and Donald Trump that are actually disgruntled and feel kind of dark in their soul. And I think that Adam and Liz feel really good about their choices.
You think so? Well, I mean, whatever you think, it's not up to me to decide what's in their heart or in their soul. So they can do and say whatever they please. I think that they should have picked a Shapiro. I think that he would have been much better, but then there was that problem that he was Jewish and you guys are really catering to the terrorist Hamas crowd, so that would have been a problem.
Bullshit.
You think really? Really?
Kamala's husband is Jewish, Tommy. Come on.
And you know what?
Playing. You're just so obsessed with playing this identity card.
Then why didn't she pick him?
BS.
Why didn't she pick him? Why didn't she pick him?
I think that she vibed better with Tim Walz.
The vibes.
They had a good vibe.
She vibed better. Okay, so does she have daddy issues? She wants someone that looks like Joe? She wants someone that looks like Joe Biden. She was like, hey, listen, I know we threw Joe under the bus and he's an elderly old white man. So I'm going to replace him with a running mate that is an older white man with white hair.
He's like 6 months older than her. He just doesn't moisturize. I don't think it's that big of a deal, man. I think that she wanted to pick somebody that was from the Midwest. Shapiro kind of had a lot of her similar bio traits. They both were lawyers. They both were AGs together. I think there was a little bit of maybe a sense that like Shapiro was ambitious. And that Tim Walz was just kind of happy-go-lucky, was going to support her, was going to be a wingman, has more of a salt of the earth bio, being a teacher, National Guard. I think that she liked that. It's not about this stuff. Do you want the pro-Hamas protesters don't like Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. They're protesting Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. They aren't protesting Donald Trump. They're protesting Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. So like this whole thing that they're trying to pander to them is just silly. Like they're the ones that are being protested. I think that they should just embrace the flag and embrace this country and what makes this country great. So wait a second here.
I'm confused. I love embracing the flag, but it's only been about 4 years, actually exactly 4 years, since your party told me that the flag was oppressive and that America was oppressive and racist. So I'm confused. Now y'all love the flag again?
You got to get off the internet, Tommy. It's your party. You find like the weirdest far leftists and you're like, this represents the whole Democratic Party. Joe Biden loves America and ice cream, and he had a lot of veterans at his convention. I think that Kamala Harris and Tim Walz have given a very uplifting pro-America speech. They've never turned the flag upside down like a lot of Stop the Steelers did and like Sam Alito's wife did because they were upset about the fake election fraud. So I just think you're wrong. I think they love America how it is. They love that it's diverse. They love all our culture. They don't get really sad about Disney having a lesbian kiss or a Bud Light can. They love Bud Light. They love Disney. They love America. And I think that's what they should talk about at the convention next week, in addition to their policies and their vision for the future.